Up to this point, we've seen what the gripper can do right out of the box, but now let's have a look at some of the accessories we make that you can use with your gripper to give you more control, safety, and functionality. There are 4 main accessories we make for the gripper. One of them is the handle bridge kit. Next is the gravity heel kit. Then there's the deflector connector. And last but certainly not least, this is our most popular accessory, is the 1/8 inch leg. And since we're already at the table saw, let's go ahead and have a look at the 1/8 inch leg. The 1/8 inch leg attaches right to your gripper, and it's used to, you guessed it, make 1/8 inch cuts. You can attach it either to the main body by removing one leg, or you can just put it onto the side of either the 1/4 inch leg or the 1/2 inch leg. It's a matter of preference. It also includes the hardware so that you don't have to use the same hardware for one of your other legs, so you can attach it right onto the side of one of the legs. Just like the 1/4 inch leg and the 1/2 inch leg, the 1/8 inch leg attaches the gripper using 2 screws, 2 washers, and 2 O-rings. And you can attach the gripper one of 2 ways. You can either remove a leg and attach it to the main body. If you remove a leg and attach it to the main body, you're going to use these 2 screws right here, the top ones. If you choose to attach this onto the outside of one of the legs, use these 2 screws right here, the lower ones that are a little bit further apart. And just like we covered in the assembly portion, washer goes over the screw goes into the hole, and the O-ring slides over the screw on the inside of the leg. See that? It's going nowhere. It's genius. So I'm going to attach it to the side of the 1/4 inch leg. It's that easy. The 1/8 inch leg is now installed, ready to make 1/8 inch rips. All right, the fence is set to 1/8 of an inch. Bear in mind this is an 1/8 of an inch leg, so if you cut into this leg, it's not going to kill you, but there's not really going to be much left on that leg to work with. So again, move your material and run the gripper over the blade just to make sure that it's clear. I think we're good, so let's make that cut. And here we have a smooth, clean 1/8 inch rip. Let's go ahead and rip it down again to 1/8 by 1/8, just for fun. Check it out, 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch. Now, the likelihood that you're going to need parts this small is not that high, unless you're making your own matches or toothpicks or something. But if you're making your own edge banding or any other kind of decorative inlay, the 1/8 inch leg is exactly what you need. Earlier on in the assembly portion of this video, I instructed you to install the handle onto the dead center of the gripper's main body. And the reason for that is because as you're applying downward pressure, you want all of that pressure to be evenly distributed across all 3 legs. And the only way to do that is to have it centered. The handle bridge kit, however, allows you to reposition your handle and still apply pressure evenly on all 3 legs. Every handle bridge kit includes 2 handle bridges, a trailing hook, and I'll get to that in a minute, and their hardware. Installation is incredibly simple. Just remove the stock handle. Just like before, the washer goes onto the screw, and then the screw goes in to the hole through the top of the handle. Then you take your handle bridge, screw goes into the center slot here on the handle bridge, and then the square nut goes onto the screw in this recessed channel here. In your hardware bag, locate the 4 1032 screws and the corresponding washers and oval nuts. The screw goes into the top of the handle bridge, and then the oval nut goes onto it on the other side. When you put it onto the main body, make sure that the brass inserts here are facing the outside of the gripper. And just make sure that the bridges are centered on the gripper body. Okay, the bridges are tightened down. Now you'll see that your handle has a nice range of motion, and you can set that handle at whatever angle feels comfortable for you. Also included with the handle bridge kit is this trailing hook and its mounting hardware. You can attach the trailing hook into the same T-slot that the center leg sits in. Using the T-bolt, you attach the trailing hook and then slide your washer over, and then of course the wing nut. You'll notice that the trailing hook sits a little bit lower than the legs, and that's because it acts as a heel to help push your material through. Whether you're using a router bit that takes out a lot of material, the trailing hook just helps move the material along through the cut. Also on the handle bridge, you'll notice these 4 brass inserts, and that brings us to our next accessory, the deflector connector. The deflector connector includes the deflector connector plate and the hardware, which is 4 yellow 1/4 20 knobs, 4 shoulder washers, and 4 O-rings. Let's go ahead and start by installing it on one gripper. Slide your shoulder washer over the screw portion of the knob, and then roll your black O-ring on over that. In addition to being a chip deflector, it can also connect two grippers together. And for that, you'll need the other two knobs. This becomes especially useful when you're working with larger stock. It gives you a lot more control by covering a broader surface. If you're working with longer stock and you don't want to do the hand-over-hand motion, you can connect two grippers together long ways and make one giant gripper out of it. Pretty awesome. The last accessory we'll be covering today is the gravity heel kit. In the gravity heel kit package, you'll find 5 gravity heels, 2 heel spacers, 2 T-bolts and 2 washers, 2 springs and 2 shoulder washers, and 2 yellow wing knobs. You take your heel spacer and slide it over the T-bolt with the female notch and the male extrusion facing out. Then the spring goes over that, then your gravity heel. And you're going to want to make sure that your female notch and your male extrusion are aligned with one another. After that, put on your shoulder washer, and then finally, your wing knob. In this situation, it would be used as a static heel. I tighten this knob down, and it's going to support the workpiece from the back. And that's ideal for smaller workpieces. So now if I loosen the knob slightly, it becomes dynamic. So if I'm cutting a longer piece of stock on the table saw, or I'm using this on the joiner, using the hand-over-hand method, I can reposition my gripper as many times as I need to for longer stock, and it's just going to retract up and stay out of my way until I reach the end of the workpiece, in which case it will drop all the way down and support it from the back to push it all the way through the cut. There's a couple things that are unique about the gravity heel. One is that it's dynamic and it'll retract when used on top of a workpiece. The second is that it's made to be cut. Say you're using it on the router table and you're using a bit that takes out a lot of material. Well, the gravity heel will support it from the back to make sure that even though it's difficult to get through that cut, it'll push it all the way through. But also because it's made to be cut, it'll completely protect the end of the workpiece from tearing out. The profile that you're routing on your workpiece will just get routed out of the gravity heel. Because these are designed to be sacrificial, we offer 2 packages. One is the gravity heel kit, which includes all the hardware and everything you need to install them. But once you go through all the gravity heels that are in that kit, you can buy the package that just has the gravity heel replacements. And it's very affordable because we know that you're going to go through these, and that's what they're designed to do. One situation where the gravity heel comes in awfully handy is when you're cutting a piece where the offcut side isn't very big and there's not enough material there for the green grip on the center leg to grab a hold of it. Even though the center leg isn't touching the offcut side, the gravity heel is supporting it from the back, and it's going to push it all the way through the cut to keep it from running back out at you. Well, that concludes the accessories portion of the video series. See all these accessories in action on different tools in the shop in their respective chapters. Thanks for watching.